Edgar Addison Bancroft was the son of Addison Bancroft, born in New York in 1820. Catherine Blair Bancroft was born in Morgan County, which is where Jacksonville and Illinois colleges are. So there was some association between the two colleges in an early day.
Yeah.
And the Blair family had apparently arrived in Illinois sometime close to when Illinois became a state in 1818. Wow. So they were real pioneer settlers.
Yeah.
Edgar, also known by his initials, EA, that was a common thing in the 19th century. Hey JB, have you seen DC? Have you seen CD? You know, they use these initials. It's a very masculine thing in the 19th century. Graduated from Knox College in 1878. It is some interest that another who graduated that day was George W. Prince, who went on to become U.S. Congressman. So Bancroft went to Columbia University School of Law, received his LLB from them in 1881. He's also listed as having received an MA from Knox College in 1880. So there were some masters that were academic and some masters that were honorary. So you have to kind of look into that. I'm guessing he received one that was academic at that age because he hadn't done anything. Usually the honorary degrees, well, Abraham Lincoln was the first honorary degree. You have to go out in the world and do something to get one of those. Yeah, so anyway, he received an honorary doctorate from Knox College in 1908, and that was clearly a doctorate. Oh yeah. Served as a trustee of Knox College for over 40 years. While mentioning Columbia University, it is also worthy to mention that his brother Frederick, historian of great renown, also graduated from Columbia University, and that prestigious university has a Bancroft Prize, established in 1948 for excellence in history, so named in honor of Frederick and Edgar. This is considered one of the most distinguished awards in history in all of the United States of America. It is also worthy of note that these Bancrofts claim to be a distant relatives of the famous historian George Bancroft, who was the first private citizen to address a joint session of Congress. Do you know who the second one was? Carl Sandburg.
Of course.
1959, February 12th, 1959.
Oh.
So they were, for a long time, and maybe still, the only two private citizens. So anyway, they claim to be, at least, these Bancrofts at least claim to be distantly related to George Bancroft, the historian. And that George Bancroft also gave a memorial address for Abraham Lincoln, but it was in 1865, soon after, you know. So anyway, as Edgar Addison Bancroft was a Republican presidential elector for Benjamin Harrison in 1888. Yeah, who was here, you know, for the cornerstone laying at Alumni Hall. It is remembered that President Benjamin Harrison came to Galesburg and spoke at the corner laying ceremony for Alumni Hall in 1890. Now, if you want for the bonus round, do you know why he was actually here?
Campaigning?
No, it was a GAR convention. Benjamin Harrison had been an officer in the Civil War, and there were many of them here who served under, however it breaks down in divisions, but I gather the 102nd Illinois had been under the command of Harrison at some point. So he had quite a loyal following here, and he had been invited to the GAR convention. So Knox College heard that Benjamin Harrison's coming to Galesburg. Well, we're kind of close to having that. So they hurried up and got the cornerstone ready, and so Benjamin Harrison dedicated it. Edgar, we go back to Edgar, started his law career in Galesburg, but saw greater opportunities ahead for himself and moved to Chicago, where he became a prominent attorney and eventually became legal counsel for the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway.
Whoa.
And he also was general counsel for International Harvester Corporation, which Philip Sidney Post Jr. had also once filled that position. And so a list of accomplishments is considerable. He wrote over 40 articles and books. In 1895, he wrote a book on the Chicago strike of 1894, commonly known as the Pullman Strike.
Yes.
Now, he did that partly as a historian and partly as a legal enterprise, because he knew there were going to be many, many interested in getting the facts. Well, instead of each of these lawyers having to investigate or hire investigators, if he did it in a forthright way, truthful, this would save, they would buy his book and save themselves money. Not have to, so anyway. And then he was appointed as a chairman of the commission, appointed to investigate the Chicago race riots in 1919. He was big, thick book. If you, the commission report is huge. shows a little more bias, perhaps racial bias. But anyway, you know who else was involved with reporting on the Chicago race riots of 1919?
McClure, or too early?
Carl Sandburg. He was working for the Chicago Daily News. So here's two Galesburg guys. Bancroft is the head of the commission investigating it, and Sandburg reports, and eventually his articles become a book on the Chicago race riots. And he got a silver award from the NAACP, the first white person to receive such an award, for his diplomatic, shall we say, sensitivity and his coverage of the race riots, trying to explain the view, how it is from view of each side. So anyway, so we got two Galesburg guys that have connection with the Chicago race riots of 1919. Gladly they didn't cause it. Yeah. Anyway, after years of a successful law career, E.A. Bancroft was appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary. We would just say ambassador today. For Japan, for the United States on September 23rd, 1924. Well, didn't live very long after that. On January 21st, 1925, Bancroft died due to an intestinal hemorrhage in Karuizawa, Japan. July 28th, or in the U.S. it would have been the 27th.
Right.
There's the date line. And he is buried here with other family members at Hope Cemetery. And when he died in Japan, they had to get his body back here.
Somehow.
And they had one of the largest funerals